Okay, so I'm gonna save select it and I'll let this load up, and now it's gonna compile the shader like I said. And all of these are the sprites that is exploding and bunch of other things. So these are all the sprites, but it needs to compile the shaders before it can do anything at all. So you just need to wait for these shaders to compile before you can actually see anything of substance. And uh, it depends on the speed of your PC, and how long it takes is wholly dependent on how beefy your computer is. So mine is not that bad, and mine is not super beefy either. So it might take anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. That's what I'm guessing. Based on the rate at which it's compiling the shaders right now, it's 1,529 shaders left to be done. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll return once the shaders have been compiled. So here you have all the particle systems. It's been compiled completely. It took a while, not as long as other particle systems, but because these are Infinity Blade, which is mostly for mobile phones. So the particle systems are decent. You can use them for your PC project as well. So something like this, and a lot of other particle systems. They're not super rich. Like if you look at these files here, it's okay, not bad. Great for mobile phones, but not great for PCs, but it gets the job done. Of course, there are other particle systems that you can look at in the marketplace. Some are not free, some are free. But if you just want to get a prototype done, I would recommend quickly downloading this and getting the job done. And then you can probably look for particle systems that are, way richer depending on the platform that you are working on. Now, this first person shooter that we are working on is mainly for mobile phones and for consoles, because we also have our input bindings for the game pads and all that, which the mobile phones don't have. We don't have any touch related code. So as a prototype, these particle systems are good enough just to get things working, and later on you can replace them with richer ones, which you have certain particle systems which are quite rich. So for instance, if I go over to my if I click on, I think I'll go to my library, and if I go all the way down, you have something called explosions builder, and this is not free, this is paid. So, and this is compatible with all of these versions of engine. You can use this if you once you get into serious development, when you want to go commercial. Now, but now this is not bad either, like I said. But if you really want it really rich and all, I would recommend that you go for this, which is not free. You still have to pay a bit for it. I think I ended up paying somewhere around $14 or something. So good enough, and this is decent if you if you can spend for your commercial project that much, then nothing like it. Anyways, so I'm gonna close this, click on the marketplace. No, I think I'll just close this, and I'll update this later on. So I'll just close this, and let's get back to this particular particle systems that we have. All right, so the one that we're going to use now, or the particle effect that we're going to use now, should be here. I'm not sure in this particular level. If not, we can just go ahead and find it anyways inside. Search for that particular effect from this folder. But I'm going to search for muzzle. I don't know if it's going to be in here. No, it's not. So if I can, let me create a new level, because there is too much distraction here. I'm going to create a new level just for that. I'm not going to save this. And inside the Infinity Blade effects, I'm going to search for muzzle, and there are about 3 muzzle flashes. This is a static mesh, this is a particle system, and this is also a particle system. Now this is a backpack muzzle flash, and this is chicken. I don't know why it's called chicken master muzzle flash. So if I open this up and if I look at that, that's what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we're going to use, and not bad at all. I'm going to close this because I don't need it, and I will keep that, and I'll close the HUD. I don't need that. So I'm going to close all the windows that I don't need now. So yeah, so if I drag this and if I drop it here, and this will keep on firing it. If I just play, maybe I'll just put it in front of the character like that. It was too quick, so if I open that up, so that's what the muzzle flash looks like. Okay, I think I know why it's called chicken master, because it's got feathers coming out of it. So if I double click it, if I play it again, so you can see the feathers coming out. So that's why it's probably called chicken. Anyway, it's not important. So we'll go back to our map and let's start working on this. If I look for my third person BP, close this out, maps and third person map. I do not need to, I don't think I need to save anything. I'll just say don't save. So now we are back here. So what we need to do is we have to attach this particle system to the particular weapon that we are holding. So in our case, it's the weapon blueprint. So if I look for the blueprints and if I look for my blueprints weapons, so this is where I need to be adding it, because this is where the projectile is also coming from. We're also firing it from here. The fire function, the main fire function is being called from here. So it really makes sense that we add the particle system inside the weapon base blueprint. Okay, so inside the event graph, we'll have to, once the fire event is called, at the end of everything, once the ammo is taken away, we need to spawn an emitter here. But before we do that, you have to make sure that you have a socket in there. So if I click on the skeleton mesh, if I go over to the mesh itself, I click on that little magnifying glass to get me to the content browser. But double click here, go back to my skeleton and look at the projectile component or the bone here. So that's where this thing sits. Okay, this is where the projectile is coming from. So this was established long back. So if you're following along with the series, then you should also have a socket somewhere around this area, depending on where you wanted it. Now I wanted it from here, so I placed it here. So I'm good there. But anyways, I just wanted to check, where I just want to have a preview mesh coming around. So I'll just say add preview asset, and here I'll just look for muzzle. And you got the muzzle flash static mesh. Of course, you can't have the particle system in here. I mean, you can, but it's not going to make any. It would be kind of pointless because you'll only be able to see it once, and it's very easy to miss. So I'll just click on the muzzle flash static mesh, and it'll place it right there. So I just wanted to see that orientation and everything is fine. Now I think that's going to be fine. So I don't need to change anything here. It's coming out from there, and I'm totally absolutely fine with that. If you want to go ahead and if you want to change it, you're free to do that. But I don't think I need any changes for this preview asset. So I'm just going to save that. I'm going to leave it there because this is not anyways going to affect the game. It's just a preview mesh. So going back here to the AK-47, not this, I'll just close that. In fact, I can even close it. I don't need it. So going back to weapon base and the event graph, out here after everything has been called, I will say spawn emitter at location. Okay, and the emitter template is going to be the muzzle that we looked for, chicken master. I also want to see what the other muzzle is. So I'm gonna I'm gonna look for the infinity blade effects, and I don't know, I'll just search for muzzle here. Muzzle. So let me see what this is all about. Okay. I don't know. If I put this here and I play, I don't know, maybe put this up here a little bit, somewhere here in front of me. How about here? Yeah, play. How about yeah, right? And if I hit play, and that's a little too intense, and instead, so I'll just click on this, and then I'll click on this, and then I'll just switch to that, and there you go. That's a chicken feather. Weird, but gets the job done. So I'm gonna delete this, take it off the level, click on this guy, go back to the player, not the player, weapon base, and then click on this little arrow. So that should add the emitter template as the chicken master muzzle. Okay,